Probably one of my favorite songs on the record. My friend TyJon came over and he recorded piano on a lot of my stuff. He's really interesting. He came over to my house when I was like 15 years old. He went to the high school right south of where I went to high school. And I heard about him. I like heard about this kid through the musician grapevine. They're like, you got to meet this guy, TyJon. He's a piano genius, and he was. And he came over to my house. He'd been playing piano since he was like 4 years old. And he came over to my house and we attempted to jam together, but I was like, let's do a Sublime cover or something like that. And he was like,
right.
Talking about his Dorian modes and shit. And I was like, whoa. He was next level. He really was. I mean, whatever we tried to do didn't work. And then...
What was the age difference? Or is it...
He's a year older. He's only a year older. So...
Where does all that information come from, I wonder? The modes when you're... How old are you saying? You're in high school, you said? Or...
Yeah, he had a very, like, strong grasp of theory in general by that point. But he's just a classically trained guy who got really into like the jam scene and playing with like jam bands and but he's astonishing, to be honest. Like, I love working with him because whenever he comes over, he just sort of, there's a lot of like manic energy in his playing. There's not tons of space at times, but it's always like he's just doing stuff harmonically that I'm just like, I can't even grasp it. I don't even know what he's doing, but it sounds so crazy and cool. But
something exciting about that when you're playing and you're like, how does it sound so good? Like you can't even, as a musician who's been making music for a long time, there's something like almost magical because it's like out of your level of grasping to an extent. So I think that's kind of a fun place to be, a fun energy to have.
Yeah.
Like, how is he even doing that? He's like a magician, kind of.
He is like a magician. So yeah, he came over, and we played. We had a drum loop going, and then we were both separately noodling around on this drum loop, and then there was a moment while we were just screwing around. There was a moment where we both hit the same chord. We both improvised this entire chord progression together without speaking. The chord changes and stuff, like, we both went to the same chord changes. I was playing the bass, by the way. I was playing the bass. He was playing like the organ, I think. Yeah, we would go to like a chord change, and we would always go, like, even if we went to different chords, I would play a bass note that would still work with that chord, Finally, we got through it. Man, we played for like, a minute or something, and then we went back and just sort of layered over it, and then I wrote lyrics immediately. Yeah, the song's called "What's Been Troubling You, My Friend," and the song is about TyJon because I sensed that there was something bothering him that he wasn't sharing. He sort of had this like this heavy something was up, and I didn't want to be. It's almost rude to ask somebody like what's going on, like, because maybe they don't want to share it with you or something.
So you're really like, I'll just write a song about it instead of ask him what's up.
So it's this super personal song, but it's just in general just about the compassion and empathy I feel for my friends. I'm a carer. That song is really tender, and when I like play it back, I get a little teary-eyed, and it's just a good representation of like, maybe the more like sensitive side of myself that I don't want to reveal as much.
Since it's more of you said it's your most recent song, right?
Yeah.
Do you find that makes there a little bit more of a connection to it, maybe? Yeah,
because it's still fresh. I think that's definitely true, but I also think I struck a chord in myself where I really feel like this song is overall a good representation of how I feel inside, and I think it'll be that way for years to come. Yeah, I'll look back on this song and be like, yeah, it's a special song.
You feel expressed. Maybe.
I feel expressed.
'Cause that's the whole point. That's the whole point of it, right? The whole point of music a lot of times is to get, that expression out, no matter what kind of feeling or attitude it is. But when you do like a nice job and say what you're trying to say and kind of put it all together in a nice, like, compact way into a song, it does feel really good to hit it just right. So
yeah.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, I'm excited to hear that one.
What's been troubling you, my friend? I love it. Yeah, when I sang that lyric, I was like, oh, it's a great song title because it's just a question, and it's something that
does the question get answered in the song?
No, the whole
just lots of questions.
The whole song is the question. Yeah,
I gotcha. Very cool.